Hey everyone, it's Joel, 3D printing nerd. Today I want to talk about something serious happening in my very own backyard. Right now in Washington state, two bills were introduced, House Bill 2320 and 2321, that directly target 3D printing. The language in these bills reveals a massive problem. A problem not just with how we view 3D printing, but with how technology gets regulated in general. One of the bills has already been pulled back because it simply doesn't make technical sense. But the other one, it's still moving. The fact that they existed at all says something much bigger. So instead of just a line-by-line legal breakdown, I want to zoom out a bit. Because this pattern, it isn't new. Let's take a look at the cycle. Every major new technology has gone through this exact phase of legislative panic. Take photography in the late 1800s. Newspapers called it a moral epidemic. In 1890, the New York Times published editorials debating the Kodak fiend. There were even calls for restrictive permits in New York because people feared they would be used to corrupt society. Looking back, that sounds absurd, but at the time, it was framed as urgent public safety. Around that same era, the Comstock laws of 1873 tried to regulate the mail. Anthony Comstock's stated goal was to ban pornography, but because the law was so vague, it was used to target nearly anything related to human biology. Under the label of obscenity, the government banned the mailing of medical textbooks, anatomy diagrams, and reproductive health information. To the crusaders of that time, the tools of education were treated as tools of vice. They didn't distinguish between a medical diagram and a lewd photo because they didn't understand the difference in intent. In the early 1900s, airplanes faced falling debris hysteria. Before the Air Commerce Act of 1926, cities tried to ban flights entirely. People were convinced that early engines would just rattle apart and rain heavy metal down on homes. One town even passed an ordinance requiring pilots to fly at altitudes that were technically impossible. When electricity arrived, some doctors claimed power grids would drain the human life force. They diagnosed people with neurasthenia, a supposed nervous disorder caused by the unnatural speed and light of an electrical world. They argued that electric light would literally wear out the human nervous system. And we can't forget the 1990s. Early internet encryption was legally classified as a munition. Writing code, doing math was regulated like a physical weapon. The government actually tried to stop a student named Daniel Bernstein from publishing an encryption algorithm he had written. They told him his code was a weapon that required a license to export. But in a landmark court case, the judges ruled that source code is speech. The law was forced to change because the courts recognized that math and data are protected by the First Amendment. The ruling is why we have a secure internet today. But the pattern is always the same. A new tool appears. Society doesn't fully understand it. Fear then fills in the gaps. And bad laws follow until someone stands up for the truth. Now, it's 3D printing's turn. These are tools used every day for education, medicine, and engineering. And yet these proposed laws try to regulate the tools, not the misuse. They aren't based on how the tech really works. They're based on assumptions. Here are 5 major problems with these bills that everyone needs to understand. Number 1, files do not contain intent. An STL file is just geometry, a list of points in space. A computer cannot look at a raw shape and know what it's for. The same cylinder could be a movie prop, or a mechanical spacer, or a tool handle. Geometry is not intent. Number 2, the detection algorithm myth. One bill required firearm blueprint detection software. That is technically impossible. You can scale a file, tilt it 45 degrees, or cut it into pieces. An algorithm can't detect a part if the orientation changes. Trying to ban a shape with software is like trying to ban the letter A to stop someone from writing a specific word. It's security theater. Number 3, the always-on assumption. The bills assume printers are like apps on a phone, always connected to a central server. But many printers run offline. They operate via USB sticks or SD cards or are air-gapped in a local network for privacy. You cannot regulate a physical machine the same way you regulate an app store. Number 4, the definition is dangerously broad. The language in House Bill 2321 lumps 3D printers and CNC machines together. These are completely different workflows. By including subtractive manufacturing, this bill could apply to computer-controlled lathes or drill presses, tools that have been in machine shops for 50 or more years. Number 5, possession versus wrongdoing. House Bill 2320 created a rebuttable presumption that possessing a digital file meant criminal intent. That flips our legal system on its head. It makes you guilty until proven innocent for owning data. People have CAD files for research, curiosity, and legitimate education. Possession is not a crime. All of these problems come from the exact same root cause: a lack of technical literacy. I don't think these bills were written by evil people. They were written by people trying to solve a problem they don't fully understand. But when you write laws based on fear rather than physics, you don't stop bad guys, you just stifle innovation for everyone else. So here is where I want to speak directly to the people involved. Representative Salahuddin, Representative Peterson, Representative Berry, Representative Taylor, and Representative Farivar. You are the primary sponsors on these bills, but my invitation extends to the entire list of co-sponsors. I invite you all to come to my studio. Come see the print farm in action. Come learn what 3D printing actually is, what it can do, and more importantly, what it cannot do. I believe better laws are created when you actually understand the technology those laws are about. And that invitation is open to anyone in government who would like to learn. You can visit, you can ask questions, or honestly, you could just watch this channel and learn alongside us. There is a lot of new technology coming. There's AI, robotics, digital manufacturing. We need leaders who are curious, not afraid. Leaders who write laws based on understanding, not assumptions. Fear-based restrictions slow us down. Education builds the future. And that's what I want this channel to be about. Helping people understand how these tools really work. If you've made it this far, you're awesome. Don't forget to hug each other more, fight for a cause you believe in, and stay curious. And as always, high five.